Okay. Do you need this on your copy? I kind of.
Nope.
Like mine. Thank you. All right, so we don't have any public comment.
Public comment.
All right, I just wanted to skip to town manager report. Did we have anything submitted by Bill?
Nope, no, I haven't heard from,
Okay.
the only thing I'm curious about public comment, I know the fire department is here. It wasn't an agenda item, but I think they have some things they'd like to talk about. So that might be actually appropriate time to take care of that.
Okay, if you guys are okay with adding that in.
Yep.
Tyler, you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, fire department is up.
So, last meeting, we were told that we turned in the capital reserve plan, as well as the trust that's and everything, to be pushed off to this meeting to see what the, for upcoming.
Did you hear
And
that, Tyler?
Yeah, was he just asking for an update?
Yeah.
That we had a couple of things that was concerning with the town manager at this moment. Last business meeting, select board meeting was the as well as board with grants.
Mhm.
None of the grants have been done yet. One of them was a very simple one, still has not been done. The other one was for an MMA insurance to do an ice and water rescue. And that closes tomorrow and still not done. And the other one was to move forward with an AFG grant, for a bigger purchase of like a new tanker. And again, that deadline's October 10th. And that's still not done. The capital reserve plan was supposed to be done myself and the town manager. Unfortunately, it has not been around. So we drafted up that capital reserve plan. nothing to do with the town manager. And even on the grants with the town manager, we did one for an MMA insurance one, we did one for Stephen King. Myself personally did most of the work on that, the town manager. So,
When's the last time you met Will?
well, I saw him just here with the IT guy for the server. But we, unfortunately, you know, we have questions, he's not around to answer these or to see what's going on with this capital reserve plan or this new truck where we're falling. You know, each month that we keep waiting, the prices are gonna keep rising and rising. And there was another thing that, on the Stephen King grant that Bill had added in there was for a 16-hour wilderness medicine course. You know, these courses take a while, and where Stephen King's already paid this money out, he would assume that these get done with pretty quickly.
When you communicate with town manager, do you do it just via phone calls or?
No,
do
I'm
you-
here daily.
But, so are you just popping in like physically?
Yeah, I come into the town office, Marty can pretty much contest to that I'm in the town office almost daily. I tried to call Bill's cell phone, but he doesn't have cell service, so, you know, phone's not really gonna work. And he has my number, so if he ever has to get a hold of me, he knows how to get a hold of me, so, or any of the officers, so.
And it's been about a month and a half I talked to him, he ain't got back to me either on some things, which I'm pretty much, I'm gonna take care of it myself. Instead of see him, he might not be happy when Bill comes, but it may come to him. It's all about
You know,
a month and a half talking to this man. He didn't come up, saw me, then closes the door and I don't see him again. Hold on.
a couple things that we've had to address with the town manager as well is not to be allowed on our fire scenes. There's safety issues. We did take a call when we had that flash flood. And Terry and myself, we were responding to the culvert on Ellisville Road. And we heard another door close in the truck. We thought it was another firefighter. And just before we got the culvert, we hear, hey, Terry, you might want to slow down. The culvert's right here. And it's Bill in the backseat of our fire truck. So, you know, there's a few things with safety concerns with not being trained or qualified to be on these scenes.
He showed up on the power lines with the trees down, moving cones back instead of giving a few orders. He's not qualified to do that.
We've had a few calls where we've had a lot of road cones with all these washouts. And one incident over on North Guilford Road, we had 6 cones set up, and then we looked back and there was only 2 cones. The town manager had picked our cones up and decided to put them in other locations where he felt was needed. That's hindering our safety. So that's a problem right there. Another time, I've had cones in the back of my pickup truck for the parade, and the cones were gone. Town manager decided to put them up by Blanchard Road. I had explained to him that you don't go into my pickup truck and take our stuff. So, yeah.
Tyler, can you hear that? Can you hear him?
I can hear most of things, but not everything. It's fairly choppy.
Okay. Just speak up it
Yeah.
for everybody.
Do you wanna come sit up here, maybe a little closer to the microphone?
Go on here, that's fine.
Just so. Do you have the minutes from last? I know I signed them.
We'll give you the clean copy.
So, Tyler, I don't know if you heard the whole thing or not, but, that we, approved last meeting, there has been no updates. And it seems like there's been an effort from the fire department to move and advance some of these initiatives, and there hasn't been any response from the town manager, and also presence. I just wanted to make sure you heard what they're discussing, brought up here. So, And to be clear, what, you're,
Yeah,
You're- Yeah. yeah, okay,
Wait now,
okay,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Our big concern now is where our
Yeah.
Stephen King grant that we are purchasing, we have things that we've sent to Bill to be purchasing, 2 immersion suits, ice cleats, wilderness backpacks, GPS units for wilderness, and we emailed him those to make these purchases. I don't think they've been purchased yet, but where he added the immersion suits into the Stephen King grant, that's why he stipulated doing through the MMA insurance, an ice and water rescue class. But unfortunately, that closes tomorrow. And these were part of the grants that you guys had approved last month.
Mark, did you know if anything's been ordered? Okay.
Same with the Poland Springs. It's a very, very simple grant. It literally takes 5 minutes to fill out an application. And we desperately need it. I think we're down to 6 cases of water. If not, we're gonna have to start purchasing our own. And that takes away from other things that we need.
Are you aware, have you been aware of any of this? Or,
Yeah, but they've come to me a few times. There was some talk about, perhaps somebody else going for the water grant, but no one else was given authority to pursue that. That was one of the concerns, and why we didn't just go ahead and do it.
My biggest concern is the AFG grant, that's deadline is October 10th, and it's an opportunity to replace a $500,000 tanker. There's 45 hours to fill out that grant,
so long.
and, we're less than a month from that.
We're trying to save money for the town, that's why this grant's important for the tanker.
Yeah.
The other thing is, we have no idea where we stand with this new engine, no one's getting back to us, and if you really go online, we're not pulling the yanking your chain, you go online and look, this truck's going up every month, 40,000 a year, 50, before we know it, we're gonna look at a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 truck, and not more. Maybe
We
a
were-
$1
we
million
were-
truck,
The truck originally was 624,000.
right,
Yeah, we're a couple months later at 700.
700.
Yeah.
And it's not us or you, it's the manufacturer's way things are.
And they
And if we
state,
don't step on this now, it's just gonna cost the town a lot more money.
and the manufacturers state that we can still get this certain size motor till December, January. After that, we have no choice. That motor will be gone, and it's a new upgraded motor, which is a lot of fabrication to the truck to put that motor in, and the increased price is 100,000 just on the motor.
And we have
I hate to see it.
everything in our power to keep this old truck engine over here snapped up to date, keeping it, and it's time consuming to keep it where it needs to be.
And there's a tremendous build time, there's.
So I guess that's our question to you guys is where we go from here.
well, it's from my understanding, it's an acquisition process. So it's not something that we can just go ahead and, we have to go out to different vendors, appreciate all the research, but the town really needs to go out and also get connected with those same people.
So we,
Truck, we're
we,
looking at the gentleman this morning, we're looking at companies.
Yeah, we're not trying, it's just the process has to be followed. And, it's a certain amount, and then we gotta go through like probably town meetings and all that, because it's all that type of stuff. So it's not something that,
so the truck we presented last month was actually the cheaper, because we did our homework on getting multiple makers and getting quotes. And this was the best price for us at the cheapest price we could find it. All these other trucks were 850,000 to over $1 million.
We started at 850 with Pierce, and Pierce, within 2 months, went almost over 900,000.
And we started this in February.
Yeah,
We had all this information in February, and the town manager kept saying, hey, we'll just wait, let's wait. And it's been waiting and waiting. And then he said, we'll wait till after the June's meeting, we'll go forward. And so we sat there patiently. I mean, this has been going on for 7 months.
Right.
And that truck, we could have got for $500,000 then, but now $200,000 plus in 7 months. And I'm afraid that, you know, if it gets past January, you're gonna have a 40% increase from the original price.
Well, we will certainly follow up our due diligence.
Yeah, and the thing that bothers me is, you know, I don't know what I don't know. Like, from, what was the first meeting, I think, in June? When did I get elected, in June? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first meeting, you guys came in pretty strong, and like, I was, no idea, like, no clue. And so, and I don't know what I don't know.
You should have been updated, not by us, you should have been
Well-
updated by the town manager, because he knew it
Yeah.
started in February, you should have been
Yeah,
updated.
well, I'm also,
with
yeah,
the whole-
and I wish there was a conduit that if you're not getting the service from the town manager, I mean, that's why we are elected. You know, no one's come to
Well,
me.
unfortunately, the town manager does not want us to talk to you.
He don't want us
I
Yeah,
to,
want
you
us
told
to go
us
to
that
him.
he's the only person that.
he was the only person we go to, not you folks. And I said, I can tell you something right now, these folks here are your boss, if I need to go to them, I'm going to them. He said, no, bring it to me. So there it is, so we bring it to him, we don't bring.
If I could jump in, so I appreciate the patience of the department in this matter. And you guys have put in a lot of work to get this plan together, which was presented at the last meeting. Since then, at that meeting, we had planned to have a work session in between then and now, continuing the planning sessions that we had started earlier this year. Or I guess maybe all this time is blending together now, but we had one work session where we're planning additional ones. Unfortunately, our timelines have gotten kicked off with a number of items, not the least of which is having a bunch of people out with COVID, myself included, right now. So unfortunately, our timeline has been derailed a little bit by that. But I think it's important that you know that the feedback is welcome. It's important that people feel like they have a channel to be heard. I appreciate the efforts to follow a chain of command. I think it's also important to know that, you know, we're a small community, and to JD's point here, I mean, if I trust and believe that you've been pushing to get this on the agenda for a very long time. You can reach out to any of us at any time. We're a small community that's working together on these things. And so the push that I've made in the past to focus on the planning has been exactly to avoid a type of scenario, Ryan, that you're mentioning right now, which is like, hey, look, these are some deadlines that we've known about for a long time that are coming up on us fast, and we don't feel like we're ready to make the next step here, or we've achieved some things in the past, like getting previous grants that we're now not delivering on. And so if, you know, in many of these cases, there are short windows, and if you don't spend your money in that window, then you got to give it back. And then that is, of course, makes all this work that went into it in the first place for naught. And so my primary focus has been on getting the planning landscape here sorted out so that we are avoiding scenarios in the future where we're always rushing into things at the last minute, but obviously we're not there yet. And so I again appreciate the feedback. I think it's really important that we also keep this focused on the type of feedback that is appropriate for a public meeting, and not drift into personnel discussions. If you have specific personnel feedback, please just reach out to us directly and you can give that feedback. I just don't want the meeting itself to devolve into that type of discussion, particularly when the person under discussion isn't in the room. So let's focus on the meat of the matter for now, which is the plan has been presented. We are planning, we haven't, the board will discuss this tonight, but I'm proposing that we have an interim select board meeting in 2 weeks, which hopefully gives us enough time to get out of quarantine and also to get up to speed on all the things that are time sensitive here, so we can get out in front of these items.
So Tyler, what are you talking time-wise for us? I've just kind of counted back, we're 7 months into this with this new truck. How much more time does people need?
Well,
I mean,
to JD, there is a whole process here, and the planning is part of that process. And so part of it is what are the steps that need to take place in order to get public approval on an expenditure like this. But for me personally, I need to understand how this fits into the multi-year long-term plan for funding this department and our other departments. And so 30 days ago, or about 30 days ago, we said we're going to dig into this and come back to you at the next meeting. I'm asking for 2 more weeks to allow us to get out of quarantine and talk and address this at the next meeting.
Why can't you have a special town meeting with the townspeople here?
Because we all negotiated that first.
I don't think it's working for so long time. It's going on 7 months. I don't take responsibility if the truck breaks up there, say that. I'm not doing it. It's frustrating. Then when you bring the truck back and you got.
So in 2 weeks, Tyler, when you guys have that meeting, will we hear back from the select board member, or is it gonna be the town manager?
What we will do is discuss the next steps. We'll have an agenda item for this at the next select board meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And what, just want to get there, so what would you guys want to see after the next select board meeting?
I don't know, special town meeting. or
Special town meeting, the purchase
To
of
get us
truck.
ordered.
So we
See,
can
the
order.
thing is, nobody's gonna be upfront on this truck. It's literally, it's gonna take
2 years to
2
get it.
years to build it.
Mhm.
And you don't even have to make the first payment for a year or 2 years after you receive the truck.
Depending on which option.
I mean, there's plenty of time when it comes to the financial part on you guys' end to figure it out, but also when we, but brought the truck to you guys for the last meeting, in the folder, it does have all the financial stuff. We didn't do that, this is what they offered. So, you know, but we'd like to get a special town meeting to get this truck. I mean,
It never
it's gonna
took this
take 2
long to
years.
get one. Now, it's, every little small town is against that. They've actually swallowed some, a lot of fire departments.
My,
And it's hard to get a truck right now because they're so far out.
my biggest thing is Monson Fire covers the largest square foot area for fire out of the whole county.
Yeah,
We cover like 260 square miles. And that's our lead engine that's hurt. It's
that's
tired.
food and Shirley.
I don't think we disagree that we need a
Nope,
new
nope,
engine.
right.
What we need to figure out is the funding mechanism and following procedure to
Yeah.
access that. And this is a new field for me as well, so we will need to follow up.
No problem.
It's the best we can do right now.
I understand.
And,
Yep.
and again, like what Tyler said, we don't know, like, so we have open door policies, I'll send you all my emails, so my cell phone, all that stuff, just, sometimes what I don't like is like coming into something and being like, oh, now I gotta respond and not have any
And
real
you
response.
guys-
If you just said, hey, we're coming,
And
Yeah,
you're
just let me know.
more than welcome to
Yeah.
reach out to me if you have any
Yeah.
questions on any of this truck or details of this truck
Yeah.
and why we're getting certain things on this truck and why we're not.
Yeah.
You know, if you need to know, we will let you know.
okay. Good, so,
You know, right now, for this year, we're at about 190 run sheets.
Calls.
okay.
So that's a lot. We're probably gonna hit 250 by January.
We do a lot of medical runs now because ambulance crews are so short. that is set up at the sheriff's office now. When somebody's sick here in Monson, they call for an ambulance, we're immediately paged right behind them. Serious
In
phone,
our calls, we get paged out for every call.
every call.
Whether it's Monson, Romantic, Blanchard, Elliottville, Ottawa, and Sherman.
Guys, I think the select board has your back here. We all want a well-resourced fire department. What somebody like me appreciates is planning and advance notice. What is not appreciated is feeling like we're trying to get steamrolled here, because it is not us that decides on these expenditures. We influence the process, but it is a public vote, and this is probably the most expensive thing we'll ever have bought, other than our roads, and it requires a considered, patient exercise here that is not just we want this new truck because of XYZ, but it's how it fits into the services that we're providing the community broadly. And so it is important that we know that we serve the wilderness areas. We know that that other communities benefit from the services that you guys are providing. It's the role of the broader town government and the community to make sure that we are delivering those services in a cost-effective manner, and that others are also participating in that. You know, this is not just if we had a much larger budget and much larger cash reserves, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But we're going through a long-term planning process right now for the first time, and it's going to take some time. And so coming and saying like, hey, the price is going up tomorrow, I don't like getting car salesman pitches. And so that is not helpful. What is helpful is to say, hey, this is how we've thought about the long-term plan here, and we want to work with you to make sure that we have stable long-term funding solution to make sure the department has what it needs.
I agree with that 100%, Tyler, but my main concern is where the build time on this truck is over 2 years. We don't know what we're going to do as far as fire service if that truck dies now. That's our big problem.
Yep, understood. And that is the context in which that specific decision is scenario is being addressed is really important, and it is part of the broader conversation here. And so the previous request was to draft a plan so we can see what the fire department thinks it needs for resources over the long term, and we can start the conversation about how to make sure those resources are in place. And at the beginning of this meeting, I said, hey, look, we need a bit more time because we're not in a position today to have an informed conversation about that, in part because some of the players aren't here, and in part because we've been derailed because of a public health emergency in our town. So I'm just asking that you be patient, and we'll pick this up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so also, just, you know, we have that problem for the next 2 years, because the build out for a truck, say we made the decision to purchase a truck today, okay, that doesn't solve the interim anyway. So maybe a little bit more patience can be warranted, because if we just said, hey, let's have a town meeting 2 weeks from now, we present this to the town, what are the questions going to be? What's it going to cost in 2 more years? How are we going to pay for it? How are we going to fund it? What's the increase to the mill rate going to be?
But the thing is, once you lock into that, order that truck, that's the price.
You lock
Correct.
into that price.
Right, so you get that price, but we have to find a way to, like, pay for it.
But we would have had that low price if we.
No, I'm just talking about like right now, if we had a town meeting right now, today, you present it to the town, what are the questions from the town gonna be?
We know that, we're gonna get them, we did the last time on this rest.
No, but they're gonna talk about the financials, do you know what the mill rate's gonna be in 2 years or 3 years because of the increase of this budget? Those are the questions that's the planning that we need to do on the town side. So when we do have that town meeting, we can answer the questions, yep, so we can get the support that you guys want. Right now, it's so reactive that we don't have any answers. And then in 2 years, no rate goes up because we weren't properly planning for this. So those are the questions that we need to, in the forefront.
Should we also have another discussion also of what do we do as a backup if this engine does die now, between now and 2 years?
Well, I think you gotta have that plan for the next 2 years.
Correct.
So, I mean, there's gotta be a plug and play plan, yeah. But I mean, that, ordering something right now is not gonna solve that plan,
No,
because
that's just gonna lock it in and save us money. That's what that does.
Right. Well, yes,
And it does get the truck sooner.
correct. So we know that time is important, but also making sure the process is, so we're not just, you have a town meeting, guess what happens? We can't answer any questions, the town says, no. What are you gonna do then? So, we're trying to, we do support, we wanna be helpful, but we want, when we buy a truck, we want it to be approved, what you want, when you want it as cheap as possible. But it's gotta be a very deliberate approach to it with some expediency. So, but it's still gotta be a deliberate approach.
For me, I've been doing this for 43 years here in town, and we've gone through a lot. My concern is going out this winter with an old truck on a house fire or any type of call, and that truck quits, and somebody loses their life, that better not come on us, because we're gonna do everything we can. But if that truck was down,
Well, hold on.
and I'll tell you something, when that truck was on a training mission, we did a training 6 months ago, and that truck shit the bed on us. Why we were having a building burn, and we got in a lot of trouble trying to put it out, because we had to bring another truck in. We had to lift the cab, we had to do a lot of work with it, on a train.
I just, that approach, doesn't. No, I know. But they're not gonna come back and say they didn't fail because you failed. That's not how people respond to that.
And
So,
you come back and we say, yes, I can see it coming. You know as well as I do, people are so sue after.
We get ridiculed on a lot of things quite often.
We've been
I'm
on,
ju- I'm just-
and I know you come in, giving you, any of you guys, or Tyler, any of that, it's just, I've been on a long time, and I've been through this. 8 years is cheap, doing this, and getting trucks, and buying used trucks, not new, just trying to keep filing out. So,
Okay,
so 2 weeks,
all right,
all right?
yeah,
And you guys are, since I've been a selectman, you've been here every single time, so just.
We're at the department every day. Unfortunately, that's what we have to do because, daytime coverage is one of the biggest things here.
Yep.
Most of our calls are during the day and we have most of our guys that work, so we try to plan this to have people here during the day and also take care of any, town stuff that you guys may need information and anything, Marty and I, we have very big communication and, yeah.
I look at it as a taxpayer too, it's a shitload of money, I do. I look at
Oh,
it.
yeah, we understand. Trust me, we understand the cost.
Yeah, I know, I'm taxpayer, I know it's a lot.
We, and the problem is, nobody's ever done this capital reserve plan in the past. And we fell into a time now where most everything's expiring in the fire department. And, I'm in the lead right now, I haven't been able to talk to Bill about it because he hasn't been around, but one of the things on a capital reserve plan was a cardiac monitor, $58,000. I'm right here of having it donated to us from Northern Light.
so we will, going forward, 2 weeks, but going forward, the planning is gonna be critical, so we don't fall back into what is
Correct.
that. So
Correct.
appreciate you.
Yes.
And
you
if
all
there's anything that
being
we
here.
can do on that capital reserve plan to either get it donated or whatnot, that's what we intend on. We don't want to see the mill rate or the taxes go up, everybody,
I appreciate everything you guys do for us in the town, I wouldn't want to be sitting there either.
Yeah, well-
But I mean, you guys do, and I understand what you.
I just don't wanna have this again, So we're gonna move forward with it in 2 weeks. It's a priority now. Well, it has been a priority, but we'll talk.
Yeah,
So, thank you.
Sounds good,
thank you.
all right,
Thank you,
Appreciate
Tyler.
it.
thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, guys.
Can I, suggest, I don't know if I have to make a motion, Tyler, just to add a couple things to our agenda, to amend it. I know our code enforcement officer is here, and I didn't see that on our agenda.
No, usually the code enforcement update is part of the select board report.
Okay.
So I just assumed that it was gonna be part of that.
Okay, and then my other question was, we had an email about the audit. Was that gonna be part of this meeting as well?
There isn't anything, that you need to do with it as a select board.
Okay.
Elena sent it to you just so that you have it and
Okay,
can look it
I
over.
thought maybe we had to sign something, that's why I asked.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we did check into that.
Okay.
If you have any questions about it that I don't have the answers to, I can relay them to Elena and, she can maybe reach out, or you can respond directly to her with it.
No, I read through it, I read the recommendations, and I know I had talked to Elena previously about, some of the things that needed addressing, that were mentioned. About that. Okay. I guess we'll go over to the, and Kent, were there specific things that you needed our action on?
Yes, I'm passing things off to you.
Did you all get my email?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are specific things that we need to do, I guess?
Find people.
So,
I can't enforce anything. Who send a letter.
Yes. So there's in the past, when an issue has been brought forward to the select board, there's been a file, some sort of a file that documents what the infraction is, photo evidence, the previous communications, so on and so forth. I saw some notes, but do we have that information?
Gave you I presented all the documentation this morning. I do not have pictures. But you can drive by any of these properties and see what's going on.
Okay, so what is, again, because this isn't on the agenda, and I received an email mid-afternoon, what is the specific request?
Okay, 95 Greenville Road. I gave him 30 days to start cleaning or get it mostly cleaned up. It's been a violation for quite a while. He hasn't touched anything. His time is up. Moosehead Manufacturing, that site, I gave them 90 days just to give me a cleanup plan, not even to start anything. I haven't heard a word back. Center Street, this is a process that started when Julie Anderson was still the town manager, and it just got dumped in my lap. We gave him 60 days to come up with something. Apparently he was supposed to be here tonight. He thinks that's a historic property. I think it's about to fall down.
Okay, I would, Sue and JD, given that we just got the information this afternoon, is there any objection to picking this up at the next meeting? And it's been years for most of these cases. I'm not sure that 2 weeks is going to make much of a difference, but this is the type of action that is very process driven. Like, we need to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row before taking any official action.
Yeah, agreed.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, because I don't really,
I can't take official action. All I can do is hand it on to you guys.
so I think, Tyler, you're saying next meeting, be prepared to discuss, whatever the action is, finding or.
Yeah, to make sure the dossiers or what have you are complete, that allows us to deliberate and take action.
Okay. And if you hear from any of them in the meantime, let us know.
Well, when I came in here after being outside for that meeting, at 6:15, he was in the middle of leaving, Don Dunphy was in the middle of leaving a very lengthy voicemail. It ran the machine out. He was in an accident somewhere and couldn't make it here from Florida, so he wouldn't be joining us, so that's really all I heard, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I did hear him saying, you know, just like he did in his letter, that he'd like more time and he's hoping that somebody will fix it up, so. Nothing new.
That'd be fun to watch, isn't it?
All right, thank you. Select board reports are next. Tyler, do you want to go since you're out there?
Yeah, no, I'll hold my fire for tonight and save it for next meeting.
Okay, JD?
The only thing the protocol for flags, you know, we're not open on Monday, but that was 9/11. Our flag was not half-mast. What's the protocol for that? Is it like, especially if no one's here? Because I know there's a message that comes out to everyone in the state that says.
I don't get those messages.
Okay.
That did not even occur to me. I know in charge of flags, kind of lied, but no, I didn't in my mind, actually.
And just like flags and.
I think we need to
general.
sign up for something, and I think he
Okay.
gets notifications, maybe I could get those same notifications or something, just as a reminder.
Tyler, were you about to say something?
Yeah, we've had this discussion before, and I don't remember what we resolved, but there was somebody, I thought we had appointed somebody to be the flag master, independent of the town office's operating hours, but nonetheless, if we're not doing it, then we should make sure that we take care of this.
The other thing I just want to mention, last meeting, we had this, during the public comment, we had a couple residents concerned about the North Guilford Willimantic intersection. Talking about a temporary fix outside of the general DOT plan, traffic plan. Marty, do you know if anyone's like talked about like not a stop sign, but some sort of temporary measure?
Nope, not specifically, in the office. I do remember the discussion, where anybody could refresh my memory,
I
what,
know
is
DOT
there talk about, putting like a temporary speed bump or something like
Well,
that?
just some sort of measure to slow it down. I really, if we keep on not doing like just month to month, this is gonna come up a lot.
Right.
Probably has it since the last meeting. So, I just think that, you know, we need to have some sort of progress with, like, just maybe flashing speed lights or something that we can control, because that's our road, right? It's not a
Right.
state road, so
Yeah.
I wonder if we can even move the speed, for whatever it will do, the flashing sign that's up on Tenny Hill.
Yeah.
Over there. I know DOT, when they were here, they said that they could do some temporary measures, but I don't know if that far out on a town road they were able to do. It was kind of unclear.
Yeah, so we had promised that we would report back at the next meeting, which is today. I'd say the same thing. Let's come back to this in 2 weeks, because I know that Bill was checking with Goral Palmer about some of the ideas, and I think Matt from DOT about some of the ideas for the things that we could do in the immediate term. But obviously he's not here to share that feedback or if that communication has happened. So let's pick this up, but make sure we don't drop the ball.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm good,
Anything
yeah.
else? Okay. Actually, that was one question I had. Marty, do you know, we discussed at the last meeting, Bill said he was gonna put the repair of Elliottsville Road, the pavement out to bid. Has that been done?
No, actually, Steve's approached me a couple of times about it. He had some ideas about, because winter's coming, and if it doesn't get fixed, he explained to me all the things that are gonna happen.
I was wondering.
So he actually had an idea of, cold patching it, and then Arvo, I guess, has a roller, so cold patch it and roll it, rather than, might be a lot more cost effective than paving. So we had a few conversations amongst ourselves, and then Bill did say that he, had reached out to Cameron Paving to get a bid. I don't know, but it hasn't gone anywhere. I think he just talked to them about it. And I don't know if he's talked to anyone else as well, for multiple bids or what.
Okay,
So I think that if it doesn't move forward pretty quickly, then we might have to think about, just repairing the road as best we can.
temporary.
Because the plow will catch on that lip, and that was
Right.
Steve's biggest concern.
Right. So maybe we can revisit that again in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Just to follow up on that. We also need to, for the next meeting, it's gonna be a long meeting, do the rules of order, but that shouldn't take long. We already have a copy to review.
Correct.
There was another question I had. What was it? Look at my. And I didn't want to lose sight of the Blackfish Valley ATV Club and the DOT approval of access on the Greenville Road as well.
Okay.
So we had talked about, I don't know what our next step was, but either meeting with Blackfish Valley folks, I think, are they the ones, Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, that have to contact DOT for approval on the main road?
That's the club. I'm not sure about the order of operations.
Oh, did the comprehensive plan get submitted?
Not to my knowledge, I haven't heard any conversation about that.
All right, so we need to follow up on that as well. All right, that's all I have. Town committee reports. I haven't heard any more news on beautification. I suspect that we're gonna meet sometime relatively soon. We decided to meet quarterly instead of monthly. And recreation,
I haven't heard anything, so,
Yeah.
yeah, got nothing.
okay. All right, so I believe we're on to new business, abatements.
Yes, I do have several abatements here from the assessor. Some of them because,
Oh, I'm sorry, I just skipped over old business. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
The letter
so
of support for Lewis.
I believe that you have all, looked over this letter for the gentleman who
I
was
haven't seen
thinking.
it.
I haven't seen
Okay.
it either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I thought you had looked at it and approved it. I believe this was run by, do you need a copy? Have you seen this letter, Tyler?
I have not seen the letter.
Okay, I will fax it, email it to you right now. So I believe Bill did send this to our attorney to look over, and got positive feedback on it. So.
Thanks, Kat. Oh, are you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm not doing any good here.
I know, but thanks for being here.
That is super legal.
Sounds like the attorney said.
Yeah, it does sound like.
I think I know, and it also has to do with fire department being able to get that.
I like the first paragraph, the second paragraph is the first sentence.
Yeah.
About to blow up.
We, JD and I signed a copy. It's hiding behind your laptop.
Oh, okay, I was actually looking for my pen. Use this one.
Do you get the phone calls too?
Did you leave it over here?
No, I don't recognize either one of those.
Oh, okay. No, she was missing her pen.
I probably took it out there.
All right. Tyler, did you have any questions on that?
I just gotta give me a second here. Yeah, it looks fine to me.
Okay. We have the signed copy for you whenever you can make it. All right, now on to new business, abatements.
Okay. So abatements. We have 3 abatements here. Just need to be signed.
Hey Marty, I'll just e-sign this version that you sent me and I'll email it back to you. And if you want to print that, then JD and Sue could just sign that version.
Oh, okay. Sure. Are you sending it right now?
Yep.
Okay.
You guys buy the double deck? I'm just waiting for someone to say, maybe I will.
Okay, and our last item is the open of the swim dock bids.
Yes, so we got 3 bids. Here they are. And it's living on my desk for 2 weeks because you thought we were gonna have a special select board meeting on the 31st, so that's why I made the deadline the 31st. Nobody's followed up and asked me who won, so I guess everybody's just assuming they
You're
didn't.
that
win, so.
excited, huh?
Okay.
Oh, is that the dock bid, did that say?
It's a bid swim dock.
Swim dock, okay.
hopefully it has name, bid, and phone number.
Name, bid, I think we can find them.
Okay.
I have, yeah, okay. All right, we have, a bid for 257 from Tom Moran.
Okay.
And a bid of 175 from Mark Stickney.
Mark, who?
Stickney,
And one from Joanne and Tom Atkins for $225.
Okay.
I see it next.
What, sorry, what was the first bid?
257 and 225 and 175.
Gotcha.
So to the highest bidder?
I would say.
All right, that would be Mr. Moran.
Okay. We have a 3-0 vote to sell it to the Morongs.
Oh,
Yeah,
did we need
let's-
to make a motion?
Sorry, let's just as a matter of process, so I'll move that we accept the highest bid.
Second.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
All in favor? All right, thanks.
Is that a yay for you, Tyler? Because I
Yes.
can't see you. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. All right. I think that concludes our meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion?
So
Great, thanks.
everyone,
Everybody.
weeks.
We'll meet in 2 weeks
Meet
on
in
the
2 weeks,
20
right?
28th. Right.
28,
All
okay,
right.
at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. All in favor? Did you get to sign all this?
I don't think I signed this. Did I sign
I
this?
didn't sign all of mine.
Bye, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
I signed these.